Hey guys, Megan with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be looking at one of the swords that Zoro has used in One Piece. This is the Sandai Kitetsu. This is a kind of pretty notable blade throughout the series. This is one of his more legendary blades that he uses. It's got a very striking kind of color scheme going on with it. This is probably one of my more favorite of the swords that I have made out of Lego. This is probably one of my better ones. You can definitely see a couple different things going on with this rendered image. This is the blade actually sheathed. It does actually fit inside of a sheath, which is kind of nice. This is the sheath itself, and then this is the blade unsheathed. So you can see both of those side by side. Um, like I said, this is a pretty notable blade from One Piece itself. I have tried my hardest to really kind of give this a very nice and subtle curve. I think it looks a little awkward down toward the end here, and I think part of that is because how this section is really flat, and then we start the curve a little bit throughout here, and then by the time it gets to the end, it kind of flattens out a little bit. I think that's the reason there's kind of an issue going on through here. You can see that the actual sheath itself is built up of these wall pieces and then brackets throughout them, like so, and then bow slopes on top and bow slopes on bottom. When we get to certain aspects of the actual blade itself, it has these cutouts in the design. I'm sorry, this is the sheath, not the blade. And then there are certain points that are black and certain points that are gold. I tried to replicate that as faithfully as possible throughout the actual sheath itself. In terms of our actual tang or hilt, however you want to, this is technically a hilt, tang would be on the inside. I have taken and made this a 3-stud wide with panel pieces on the side, on top and bottom, so that we get a very nice smooth and rounded grip here. I have continued the diamond cutout pieces that are supposed to be here and I rounded off the back end down here. The actual crossguard is incorrect. It's supposed to have cutouts here and cutouts here to make this into a very much more dynamic shape. That's essentially impossible to do at such a scale as this with the pieces that we currently have, so that's not going to happen. So I have just left it currently as a round guard, as you can see. We also then have the blade itself. Most of the blade is 1 stud wide. And then at the widest 2, you can see that these jumper plates are the widest part of the blade. This blade has a very kind of jagged edge between the black part of it and the actual the sharp part of it. I've tried to replicate that using these teeth pieces. At a distance you kind of lose it, but up close you could better see it. There is a potential that varying which of these pieces I used, or even using a tooth piece, would actually do better for this. But for right now I'm going to leave it as is. I have tried my hardest to actually show that there is a blade down here, that this is actually sharpened at some point, by using old school railroad pieces. As you can see, these are 1 stud wide, but they actually thin down to somewhat of a thinner rail here. So that's kind of the part of the sword that almost makes it look like there's an actual blade on it. As you can see, there's a very nice curve going on here. Actually, I really enjoy this curve. This curve is far better than the curve going on with this, though they basically both match. Because I've used this very large and long railroad piece here, the blade is limited to a certain amount of length before we have to switch back to just 1 stud wide, because we don't have these pieces to use up here. But as you can see, I think overall that this has really worked out. From a distance, it's a detail that's kind of lost anyways against the blade. This is, like I said, probably one of my favorite swords from anime that I have built thus far. I'm hoping to maybe potentially get back into doing some more of these quite soon, and trying to increase my overall vast skill set, if you will. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. See you guys later in another YouTube video another time.